Well, good morning. This weekend I am near the Henry Coe Wilderness in California, and we're doing a guided hike into an area of the park that is rarely visited. This is something that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I am not a big fan of group hikes. I'm not a big fan of strangers, but my buddy Jason invited me along, and I thought that it would be worth it just to have a new experience, just to try something different, and to see an area of a park that I likely wouldn't get to see as a solo hiker. So I drove up last night, kind of stealth camped in a little picnic area, and I got to test out my new sleep platform that I built in my Subaru. And I gotta say, it worked really, really well. I had a miserable night of sleep in Death Valley last weekend. The problem with the back of the Subaru Crosstrek is that, well, there's two problems. One, the seats don't fold all the way flat, so you're sitting kind of like this, and I'm a big dude, and the back of the Subaru is actually about 2 feet too short for me to sleep comfortably. So I built a 6 foot long, 2 foot wide plywood platform. I just put my inflatable backpacking sleeping mat on, and it's hinged at about the 24-inch mark so that I can fold it back and still use the passenger seat. So pretty cool, and I slept great. I'm very excited with how well this all worked out. So getting up this very foggy morning and going to eat some breakfast and pack my backpack and meet our group for this hike. After meeting with the volunteer rangers and the other hikers at the assigned meeting spot, we all drove up to a gate that is typically locked. This part of the park is only open seasonally and closes during inclement weather. Along the 5-mile drive, we saw wild pigs running along the sides of the hills. It was kind of incredible. I've never seen that in real life. So our little wagon train ended up at Dowdy Ranch, near a visitor center, where we sort of consolidated and carpooled for the remaining 7 miles of the drive to the actual trailhead where we would start hiking. So we're about a mile in, and so far the hiking has all just been on a pretty well-maintained dirt road. Very casual, nothing strenuous or difficult. I think these kind of hikes, as group hikes, or at least this one in particular, is sort of geared more around beginner hikers. People who may be new to backpacking. For me, the appeal was just going to a new place, someplace I've never been before, but definitely not a difficult hike. Absolutely gorgeous, just surrounded by tall grass and wildflowers. Very lovely, wonderful day so far. Well, we finished the 5 mile hike and we are at the camp spot essentially. Everybody's kind of spreading out and looking for a little bit of solitude for the night. I've kind of picked my spot here next to a big wash. It's been really beautiful. It's been really lovely. I spent a fair amount of time kind of socializing, which is hard for me. I'm not a very social person. Group hikes like this are pretty far out of my wheelhouse. I'm used to hiking with, 1 or 2 other friends, like close friends. But being out with 19 other strangers has been an experience. So I'm looking forward to some alone time. Decompress a bit. Plan now that everybody's kind of had their camp set up and got a little bit of rest and some food is to take a quick day hike to a spot called Paradise Lake, which is apparently no longer a lake. The dam there broke and the lake is no more, but that is our destination nonetheless.
The trek from the campsite to Paradise Lake started with a pretty intense uphill bushwhack along this grassy ridgeline. The views from the top made all that extra effort absolutely worth it, and the route did eventually mellow out and we had a gentler hiking experience. This park is best visited sort of in late winter, even into early spring. We were there a little bit late in the season and a lot of the water sources had stopped flowing, but we were able to find some remaining pools and water wasn't really an issue. Seeing the remnants of the dam at Paradise Lake was pretty impressive. The dam apparently gave way during a massive rain event in 2017, leaving behind this massive dirt scar and, honestly, a pretty gorgeous little valley where the lake used to be.
We're back at the tents. That day hike ended up being almost 7 miles. It was like 6.86 miles, which was longer than the hike in here. So it's a good day of hiking. 5 miles in, set up camp, and then a 7-mile round trip day hike. Definitely got my steps in. What a unique and beautiful area. This is so cool. I'm so happy I did this. I don't know that I'll ever do a group hike like this again with strangers, but I mean, I didn't have a bad time. Actually, I had a wonderful time. Everyone's really nice. I had some really enjoyable conversations, but that's just not what I come to the backcountry for. You know, I'm not looking for conversation, and I want solitude and silence and beauty.
Overall, my experience with this group hike was a positive one. Everyone was really, really nice, and I enjoyed my time in their company, and I really enjoyed my time in the Coe State Park. This is an area I will definitely come back to, visit again, and hopefully see some other sections and some other sights and some other views. It's a massive state park. It is the second largest state park in Northern California. So there's a ton to explore. I've read that there's over 200 miles of trail, and that doesn't even include the opportunity to go cross country and kind of choose your own adventure. So there was a lot more exploring to be had in this park. Next time, I'll probably go solo or with one or two close friends.
Yeah,